Hey everybody, Justin from frugalsnobs.com. What is up, YouTube? Happy Cinco de Mayo 2019. Christina and I are on a tear to wrap up a review of a banknote series from Mexico that was printed between the late 1950s and mid 1970s. These are the first banknotes that were printed from a United Bank of Mexico. We have reviewed the 1, the 5, the 10, and the 20 peso note, and we are on to the 50. Hey Christina, how you doing?
Doing well.
Hola.
¿Cómo está?
Bien, gracias. So, we are basically, like I said, on a tear here to finish out this review on Cinco de Mayo. So it is May 5th, 2019. Thought we'd finish out the series. We've been trying to get to this for a while. I'm talking very fast, folks. I apologize. But we just want to get through this series because there are just so many notes in the series.
And it's a complete series.
Yes. So we've been through, as I said, we reviewed the 1, the 5, the 10, the 20 peso note. Check them out on the channel here, folks. And we appreciate if you subscribe while you're here. It helps us out. And please check out the Frugal Snobs podcast. Everything you need to know is at frugalsnobs.com. At any rate, folks, this is the 50 peso note. There is influence on the note in terms of design from the US dollar. These notes, as I've said on the other videos in this series, are roughly proportionately the same size as a US dollar, so to speak. I believe this note was also printed outside of Mexico by the American Banknote Company. I believe.
Yes.
And I believe, as I mentioned in the other videos in the series, that the American Banknote Company was based out of New York State. As I had mentioned also in the other videos, folks, again, this is just getting people to go watch the other videos. They should be. So, as I also mentioned in the previous videos in the series, folks, banknotes were often printed outside of the country of issue. In this case, in Mexico, this is no different. The Bank of Mexico basically would have placed a printing order for printing of their banknotes outside of Mexico, in this case by the American Banknote Company. So on the front side of the note, we have a personality, once again, like the other notes that we've reviewed in the series, Christina. And who is this personality?
Ignacio de Allende.
I see. Did he fight in the struggle for Mexican independence?
He did. He's known as a national hero. And he also worked alongside the gentleman who's featured on the hundo, or the $100 bill, or the 100 peso bill, Miguel Hidalgo.
I gotcha. So Miguel Hidalgo will be on the 100 peso note, so we were reviewing that note as well in the series, so check that out next, folks, if you're watching these sequentially, so to speak.
Another thing with him, he was actually imprisoned for insubordination.
Well, I would think so. He's inciting a revolt, an uprising, to free the Mexicans from their European oppressors,
yes,
so to speak. So, I believe he's also buried in Mexico City.
Yes.
His tomb is near the Angele de Independencia, which is a winged angel statue on the backside of the note. We'll get to that here in a second. I've seen this statue in Mexico City. So, colors on this note are pink and blue.
Yes, with slight hints of green.
Dominant blue. All this anti-counterfeiting stuff. Remember, folks, back when these notes were printed, we didn't have the magnetic striping. We didn't have the tactile features that we have now, and we also certainly didn't have the polymer notes that you might see in some countries now. So, again, as anti-counterfeiting measures, you would have color schemes or embossing or other features of the note that make it unique.
Yes.
Is that fair? Okay, so anything else on the front side of this note?
No, just the fact that it's dominant blue.
Gotcha. Multiple shades of blue?
I mean, I would say two-tone blue, but then hints of pink and green.
Gotcha. All right, so it is colorful.
Yes.
Let's flip to the back side of the note.
Yes.
And as mentioned, folks, the back side of the note features the Angel de Independencia, which again is basically the angel of independence.
And you can even see the grave sites for the people that were placed around.
Basically the Mexican heroes,
yes,
so to speak, of the revolution. So, at any rate, folks, I have seen this particular statue. It is in Mexico City. I lived in Puebla, Mexico for a while, and we apologize for our beleaguered gringo Spanish. But again, we wanted to get these banknotes reviewed for this series, and it is Cinco de Mayo, which, by the way, has nothing to do with Mexican independence. It's really thought of, I think, now as a Mexican-American heritage holiday.
Yes.
I think it's what we're calling it politically correct now, I guess, in the United States. So at any rate, folks, this is the 50 peso note. Go ahead and wrap this up. Are you okay with that?
I'd say the only thing I'm going to note on the back, besides being almost completely very shades of blue, is that it has two brown stamps, one in the lower left and other in the upper right.
I've always wondered about these notes, too. With U.S. currency, a lot of notes that were green seal notes have almost turned to brown seals over time just because of the ink setting and things like that. I wonder if that also happens on other banknotes. Just
Possibly.
curious about that because you mentioned the brown seal on the note. All right, folks, we're going to wrap this up. This is the 50 peso note from the Bank of Mexico. Again, happy Cinco de Mayo to everybody out there. It is May 5th, 2019. We're going to move on to the 100 peso note next in the series, so check that out as well as check out the other videos here on the channel, as well as the 1, 5, 10, and 20 peso notes from the series. Be well, never pay retail. Take care of yourself and each other.